Chapter 1, the Roman Foundation. What if everything you've been told about masculinity is wrong? Not toxic, not fragile, not ego, not dominance, but something deeper, older, eternal. Across history, the greatest warriors and philosophers didn't define masculinity by brute force or bravado, but by character, control, and courage. This is true masculinity, through the eyes of Marcus Aurelius, Musashi, Socrates, Sun Tzu, and the warriors who lived it. The Stoic Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." These are words to live by, a timeless reminder that our inner world is the true battleground. External forces may buffet us, circumstances may challenge us, but our response, our internal state, remains within our control. True masculinity starts not with how you face the world, but how you face yourself. It begins with an honest assessment, a fearless look into the mirror of your soul. Are you the man you aspire to be? Are your actions aligned with your values? This introspection is the first step on the path to self-mastery. In ancient Rome, men were not praised for how loud they spoke or how many battles they won, but for how well they ruled over their own impulses. Anger, lust, greed, these were seen as internal enemies to conquer. They understood that a man who cannot control himself is a danger to himself and to others. The true mark of a leader was the ability to remain calm and rational in the face of adversity. The Stoics taught that a man's strength is measured by his ability to master himself, especially under pressure. They believed that virtue, reason, and living in accordance with nature were the keys to a fulfilling life. External events held little power over a man who had cultivated inner resilience. This was echoed by the Spartans, who trained boys not to fight others, but to fight comfort. They understood that true strength comes from enduring hardship, from pushing beyond one's perceived limits. Comfort breeds complacency, while challenge forges character. Discipline was not punishment. It was freedom from weakness. It was the path to unlocking your full potential, to becoming the master of your own destiny. By mastering yourself, you are no longer a slave to your impulses, your fears, or your desires. You are free to choose your own path, to live a life of purpose and meaning. Chapter 2, The Way of the Warrior. The purpose of today's training is to defeat yesterday's understanding. Miyamoto Musashi. The true masculine path isn't about domination. It's about evolution, growth, refinement. In feudal Japan, Musashi became legend not because he fought, but because he lived with relentless intention. Every strike, every breath, every word was aligned with purpose. Masculinity isn't chaos, it's order forged in fire. It's the ability to stay calm when others panic, to lead when others crumble. And that purpose, it doesn't come from chasing pleasure. It comes from enduring challenge with clarity and resolve. To the samurai, masculinity was not measured by aggression, but by duty. They lived by Bushido, the way of the warrior, a code that demanded unwavering loyalty, courage, and moral rectitude. A man did not live for himself, but for a cause beyond himself, his lord, his family, his ancestors, and his own honor. Masculinity wasn't reckless, it was responsible. To be a samurai was to carry the weight of life and death decisions without flinching, to maintain composure under extreme pressure, and to fight with both skill and clarity. What modern men forget is that the samurai's blade was not his power. His restraint was. A true warrior knew that violence was a last resort. Masculine energy wasn't about unleashing chaos. It was about learning when to hold it back. Control, precision, timing. To draw your sword too soon was dishonor. To strike without wisdom was weakness, and to act from emotion rather than principle was failure. The samurai embodied masculinity not through domination, but through mastery of their craft, their code, and most importantly, themselves. Chapter 3, The Wisdom of Truth. The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates. These words, spoken millennia ago, still resonate with profound truth today. Socrates believed that self-awareness and critical thinking were paramount to a meaningful existence. He challenged conventional wisdom, urging individuals to question their beliefs and values. Socrates didn't swing a sword, but he was a warrior of truth, a man who stood against ignorance, even when it cost him his life. He faced accusations and condemnation with unwavering conviction, choosing principle over self-preservation. His death became a testament to the power of ideas and the importance of intellectual integrity. True masculinity isn't about controlling others, it's about controlling your ego and taking full responsibility for your actions. It's about acknowledging your shortcomings, confronting your biases, and striving to become a better version of yourself. This requires immense courage and a willingness to be vulnerable. Modern men often confuse power with control, but the ancients knew the strongest man in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one who can listen, reflect, and respond with wisdom. True strength lies not in dominating others, but in mastering oneself. It's about cultivating empathy, understanding different perspectives, and making informed decisions. He who knows himself and knows his enemy need not fear the result of 100 battles. Sun Tzu. This ancient wisdom highlights the importance of self-knowledge in achieving success. Understanding your strengths and weaknesses, your motivations and fears, is crucial for navigating the complexities of life. Know yourself, own your flaws, then act with precision. Embrace your imperfections, learn from your mistakes, and use your self-awareness to guide your actions. This is the path to true strength, resilience, and ultimately a life of purpose and meaning. A man is born gentle and weak. At death he is hard and stiff. Therefore the hard and stiff are followers of death. The soft and gentle are followers of life. Lao Tzu. This ancient wisdom speaks to a profound truth about the nature of existence, a truth that often eludes us in our modern, fast-paced world. It suggests that true strength lies not in rigidity, but in adaptability, not in force, but in yielding. This might sound strange, perhaps even counterintuitive, especially when we consider the prevailing images of masculinity that dominate our culture. But true masculinity is not always rigid. It's not about being unyielding or inflexible. It's about understanding the power of softness, the strength in vulnerability. It's knowing when to be strong, when to stand your ground, when to defend what you believe in. But equally important, it's knowing when to be still, when to listen, when to reflect, when to simply be present. It's about finding the balance between action and inaction, between assertion and acceptance, when to fight, when to protect, when to challenge injustice, and when to flow, when to adapt, when to compromise, when to let go. This fluidity, this ability to move seamlessly between opposing forces, is the essence of true balance. Lao Tzu believed in the Tao, the way of nature, the underlying principle that governs all things. The river does not shout or force its path. It doesn't rage against the rocks in futile anger. Instead, it patiently, persistently shapes mountains in silence, demonstrating a power that is both undeniable and deeply profound. It understands that true strength lies not in brute force, but in unwavering persistence. The most masculine men in history were not just warriors. They were not defined solely by their physical prowess or their ability to dominate. They were also poets, capable of expressing deep emotions, thinkers, able to contemplate complex ideas, lovers, able to connect with others on a profound level, fathers, able to nurture and guide their children. They understood that true strength encompasses a multitude of dimensions. They knew that power without peace, without inner calm and self-control, is just noise. It's a fleeting display of aggression that ultimately accomplishes nothing. True power is rooted in tranquility, in the ability to remain centered amidst chaos. And peace without power, without the ability to defend oneself and others, is vulnerability. It leaves you susceptible to exploitation and harm. True strength lies in the harmonious balance of these seemingly opposing forces, in the ability to be both strong and gentle, both assertive and receptive. It is in this balance that we find true resilience, true fulfillment, and true masculinity. Final chapter. Living the ancient way. In a world that tells men to be more aggressive or perhaps even less masculine, a confusing landscape indeed. The real path, the authentic path, is not about extremes of more or less. It's deeper than that, truer to yourself, older than you think. the path of the warrior philosopher, a timeless ideal. Be still and thoughtful like Marcus Aurelius. Be precise and disciplined like Musashi. Be wise and questioning like Socrates. Be flowing and adaptable like Lao Tzu. Be honorable and courageous like a Spartan. Because true masculinity isn't something you shout to the world. It's something you embody, something you live each and every day. If this video helped you, make sure to like and subscribe to support the channel and comment calm below to show that from now on, you will live the ancient way.